what do you explain to Barron? Kai, he's almost peers. He's one of those young people that Charlie Kirk was so impressed with.
He was a tremendous fan.
What do you as a dad, and a lot of dads and moms are wondering what to say, what do you say to them?
So Barron's a very good student. And Barron came to me and he said, Dad, I'd like to meet somebody that you know. Who? Charlie Kirk. I said, what? You know, I thought he was going to say, I want to meet like King Charles or something, like we're going to meet soon, right? But he said, really, you want? And I set up a lunch with him, and he came back. He said, that guy's great, Dad. That guy's great. You know, it was cute. He's unbelievable. I don't know what it was. Charlie had a magic over the kids, and large numbers of them, and very diverse. Black, white. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody, the young women and boys, and I've never seen anything like it. And it was all good. I mean, it was good stuff. It wasn't some of the stuff you read about where they're in favor of all these horrible things. It was really good stuff. And we lost an unbelievable warrior. And I think they're going to, I have a feeling that Erica, you know, I spoke to her long yesterday. She's devastated. And I said, in between the devastation, she made statements. I said, you should try and do that. Because Turning Point is a real power. And I think she may, and, you know, her group, I think they're going to
rally around
keep it together. And, you know, things like that have happened before. You make it bigger, better, stronger. I said, only do it if you're going to make it bigger and better. Can you do it? But I didn't want to talk about that too much because she was just, she can't, you know, she's going to take, it's going to take her a while to get better from this. It's a tough.
2 little ones.
Yeah, and beautiful, beautiful kids. But I'll never forget Barron coming back saying, Dad, that guy's great. You know, normally he's not full of praise.
What do you tell him now?
He was very hurt when he saw this. But, I mean, everybody was. Oh, when I heard it, I was in the midst of, you know, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects and with design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, what do you mean dead? Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, you know. And I said, dead? You got, and it was like, I left these, I just told these people, get out, just go, you got it. This is the
bullshit like say, hey, that's all, that's elbows. No. Yeah, I'm with.
we don't start to seriously fight for our continent, for our religion, for our people, our countries, then this time that we live in will go down in history as the time in which Western nations no longer had to get invaded.
Just going over Westminster Bridge now. Or as I call it, Satanic Bridge. What? Yeah. Yeah.
If it is determined that a foreign power assassinated Charlie Kirk or was behind his assassination, there should be hell to pay. It is now being reported by the FBI that this is a possibility. If this is true, there will most certainly be other hit teams in CONUS who are focused on other targets. The White House needs to inform the American people ASAP what they know. Local law enforcement across the country better have already received a bolo. Be on the lookout, with as many specific details as possible. Don't kid yourself. There is a war on in America, and everything and everyone we hold dear is at risk. Forwarded from General FLYNN.
Rattletrap 1776 posted on X. He comments, "Keep calling me crazy." These two authors were selling books about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Kevin George, his book title, The Shooting of Charlie Kirk and the Battle for America's Future, on sale on Amazon on the 11th September 2025. Author, Anastasia J. Casey, book title, The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, on sale on Amazon on the 9th of September 2025. What I've heard from Intel on Telegram is that both these books have been removed from Amazon. Highly questionable. Who do they work for? How did they know Charlie Kirk will be shot? I am guessing, in my opinion, that these people very likely will be called in for questioning.
The left images of Charlie Kirk are real. The images on the right are actors, according to someone on Telegram who posted the real and actor images of Charlie Kirk. Look at the teeth. That's a dead giveaway. His wife, real and actor image, you can definitely tell the difference.
Okay, now this is confusing. It seems X has changed the dates on their posts. They have moved back in time without telling the world. This is crazy. According to Patriot MMA, January 6th is Christmas. Today is Christmas Eve. 061 equals 1224 Julian calendar. 1224 equals 1124 lunar calendar. 1124 equals 0924. 09 equals 11. 0924 equals 9/11 Julian Jesus birthday. Even Medea Greer from American Media Group has changed the date to January 6, 2025. Boom! Judy Bitington bombshell report. Global currency reset. Monday, 6/2025. Largest transfer of wealth in human history. Global currency reset. Monday, 6/2025. Largest transfer of wealth in human history. Trump inauguration, Monday, 2025. 15 days and counting to freedom. Donald Trump's Air Force One flag has 55 stars, so will he be inaugurated to President of U.S. Inc. or President of the New American? We just have to be prepared of the next move because President Trump still needs to come out to announce to the American people and make a huge announcement. The U.S. Incorporated doesn't exist. It was defunct in 2021. Remember how Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible? In my opinion, the shooting of Charlie Kirk resulted in his death, which we know is staged. They needed an event to wake up the people. The people, young and old, are rallying all over the world. People are rallying in the millions for Charlie Kirk. Also, the immigration issue in Canada, Australia, and Britain, and other parts of the world, people have had enough. In my opinion, a murder and death of an innocent man, Charlie Kirk, was the catalyst the White Hats, the alliance military, needed to wake up the people. Result? People love Charlie Kirk. People are angry. I could be talking a bunch of BS. Remember, President Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible at his inauguration. That inauguration was the inauguration under the United States, Inc. In order for President Trump to be inaugurated under the Republic, you just need to be prepared when President Trump announces the next move. This is what I know. If you look at Nasara Gassara, it states basically, any new elections, the president will return back to office in 120 days. All you need to know is, remember President Trump said, trust the plan.
I see Charlie Kirk is a white hat. He was being threatened. We don't know by who, but his comments about Israel could be one reason. If he and his family are under threat, they recruit him and a double look-alike to play out this killing scenario in order to raise the mayhem quotient between left and right demonstrators' political civil war, so Trump can bring in troops to cities. Logical. And put him and his family into witness protection. Posted by KERRY L. CASSIDY on X at 1:40 p.m. Saturday, 13/2025.
Jassara Nasara Countdown, forwarded from Julian Assange. Quantum Financial System, QFS, activates worldwide on Monday, January 6, 2025. Donald Trump knocks out deep state fiat U.S. dollar and brings in asset-backed U.S. note in a historic transfer of wealth back to the people. Prepare for a 48-hour global communications blackout.
Majid posted on X at 6:54 p.m. September 13, 2025. Big piece of information. VES, IQD, IDR, VND are no longer considered exotic currencies, and their rate is at the bank screen since Aug 13, 2025, and the system shows do not buy. That means don't exchange those currencies now until you get green light. Peace be upon you, Brother Majid. Regarding the Vietnamese dong and the Iraqi IQD, will their zeros be removed? Can you inform us? Thank you. Majid replied, the zeros will be counted. What's others will go eventually? Please tell. Majid replied, those the currencies above. But the bond side, I only know Zim is going RV.
Alert, wow. USA ordered them, Majid is referring to Iraq, to go to Forex. Economist Safwan Kasai revealed on Sunday the existence of new steps for the central bank to promote transparency and global openness. The CBI, Central Bank of Iraq, and the U.S. Federal Reserve are moving towards authorizing Iraqi banks to contract with international audit companies, instead of relying on the platform of selling the dollar alone in order to audit credits and it stopped there. Next intel is from JR. This intel was forwarded from JR. Alert. United States orders Iraq to get on the Forex now. Monday is going to be huge. Read the post in the link. Alert. According to Majid on X, posted January 6, 2025, or 13 September 25, more relating to the information above, The Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Federal Reserve are moving towards authorizing Iraqi banks to contract with international audit companies, instead of relying on the platform of selling the dollar alone in order to audit credits and remittances before implementing them, Kassai said in a statement to the agency. Information. He explained that this measure is in the interest of the central bank, as it contributes to sparing the risks of money laundering issues and international sanctions, pointing out that this step is a turning point that contributes to drawing a clear map of the work of Iraqi banks on the global stage, where they will deal with international correspondence and financial guarantees in addition to instant transfers, which enhances their position in global markets. He pointed out that it is possible to rehabilitate banks facing current restrictions, which will lead to greater stability in the exchange rate, noting that the central bank attaches special importance in the next phase to increasing foreign exchange reserves, which contributes to facilitating commercial operations and supporting economic activity. LFGD.
Vietnam. Gifts are being distributed at the household level, with recipients choosing between transfers to their social welfare accounts via the VNEID digital identity app or direct cash pickup at local distribution points. The distribution period runs from August 30 to September 2nd, with a final deadline set for September 15 for any unavoidable delays, the State Treasury said. State Treasury disperses nearly 5.69 trillion VND as National Day gifts to 1,929 communes. A2Z Update 9/13/25. Just a quick note on the 100K gifts. Our friends in Vietnam have confirmed these are still showing in pending status in their accounts. As we know, the reason is simple. If those deposits were released right now, they would amount to less than 4 USD. Vietnam is holding them back because when the RV takes place, those gifts will land with full value. Vietnam is ready to go. We know this. They do not want to sit on the sidelines any longer. If the GCR stalls, they risk looking like fools for handing out pending gifts that carry no weight. That's why they are continuing to apply pressure on Iraq and the White Hats to move this forward. And the signals are loud and clear. Vietnam is hinting, pushing, and flat out showing they are ready. The latest from Vietnam News is practically shouting it. Newspaper emoji. The fire is lit, family, and now it's burning hotter, faster, stronger. This is the moment to stay focused, stay faithful, and stay ready. The breakthrough is near. LFG, A2Z Dreams.
We shared this one earlier. As they explain what they're doing with the auctions is to support the value and to support stability of exchange rate, ensuring the required liquidity in the market. In other words, they're changing how it works, and they want us to know why. Al-Maliki, everyone feels safe and stable in the presence of the Iraqi army. A big movement in Iraq as foreign or formerly militias in Syria return to Iraq. They're telling them to stand down. That the government and the police force there have things under control. They are sovereign. Don't mess with it. These are reoccurring stories. They are pushing this in the news in Iraq. Sovereign, which is important for us. Customs ports of the region do not comply with federal decisions on fees. I found this one interesting. They're saying, hey, look, there's more going on in the Kurdish region. There's a lot of corruption, and we got to fix it. They don't want to send us the dollars, the revenue. They want to keep us, and then they want dollars from us. A lot of corruption. I have heard this from Iraqi sources saying that they are cleaning up politics at all levels, especially in the Kurdish region. Now, let's get into the bond rumors. I had to check in. They are expecting things in the next 4 days between now and the 10th. So I had 2 contacts checking in. Their update today was final contracts this week. So I'm getting that from 2 of the bond sources now that are expecting their finals this week. It's encouraging because it fits with everything else we are hearing. Other than that, very quiet. I struck out on news from groups today. That was a little disappointing. I was hoping to get some check-ins from some of the larger, we'll call them tier 4A groups. They're actually more like end of 3, but we're going to run with it. just to not confuse folks. Struck out there getting any news. 2 bond contacts checking in, expecting this week. They were very specific on their dates, but I'm going to translate that for you guys as this week because it falls within this week. And we are praying that they actually receive this week, because that'll mean you and I are days or same time.
Elon Musk on X. Posted 3:58 p.m., 12 August 2025. Okay, now this is really funny, lol. Look what Elon posted. It's a picture of 2 sticky tapes that look like the number 69, lol. Elon comments, "It's a sticky situation." Guys, I'm using text to voice because I'm on a chat with my friends on Telegram. Anyway, this was forwarded from Lady Liberty Lashes and Lattes on Telegram. She commented, "Tapes? Sex tapes? Maybe Elon is referring to the Epstein files."
Me and Tinfoil Hat Gang looking at the next round of BS. Lol.
From September 13, 2025 to September 14, 2025, we will be performing planned system upgrades to enhance your trading experience. During this time, our trading platforms, My Account Funding Portal, and online account application may be temporarily unavailable. Forex.com, forwarded from Ginger's Liberty Lounge. Ginger.
Alert U.S. Charlie Kirk vanishing jet theory. Let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk is shot at Utah Valley University at 12:10 p.m. local time. Exactly 1 hour later, a private jet N888KG takes off from Provo Airport just 5 miles away. 30 minutes into the flight, the jet illegally disables its ADS-B transponder, disappearing from radar. Then, 45 minutes later, it mysteriously reappears, heading right back to Provo. That 45-minute blacked-out window? It's the perfect timing, altitude, and airspace for a parachute drop. This wasn't a glitch. This was a ghost hop. You're telling me a jet leaves the exact city within 60 minutes of the shooting, vanishes midair, and comes back in the middle of a rural flight corridor where someone could have jumped? And now it's blocked from public tracking and registered to a shadowy LLC in the same area. Where is the pilot? Who was on board? Why did it go dark? Because if this has nothing to do with Charlie's assassination, then prove it. Surely the FAA has flight logs, radar data, and comms, right? Posted by @FollowsTheWhiteRabbit. Then this post. Image on screen is Goat Island, New Zealand. A few miles from Goat Island is a private retreat that sits on about 18 acres called Valhalla, ran by the Danish Society whose membership is private. Kash Patel said right after Kirk was killed, "I'll see you in Valhalla." Some Masonic lodges are named Valhalla. Chaos magicians and eclectic occultists use Valhalla as a visionary astral hall for empowerment or initiation. Suspect apprehended after 33 hours. 33 days before his birthday. No coincidences.
Early September, a meteor crashed in Panama. This TikToker, Kin Panama, documented this. First off, I want to say thanks to Kin for giving us the opportunity to see this firsthand and documenting it so clearly. You know, this man has a well-standing profile. He posts about normal things for years, and all of a sudden starts posting this footage. I don't have any reason to believe it's AI. What started to grow off of this meteor had life reactions to it, or has life reactions to it. It moves. It's not feeding off anything. It's not getting air. He's kept it in the dark for the most part. He has put it out in the sun. It doesn't seem to affect it. The crash site here is what's really got my attention. It glows phosphorescently or luminescently rather around the site, which is interesting because we find all this luminescent and phosphorescent stuff out of Mexico, and you know it's not something that's common in our world, so it's very interesting to see it in this fashion with no blacklight stimulation whatsoever. I would be curious to see what a blacklight would do to this area for sure. So as he continued, every day posting the progress of what this thing's doing, he's posted, dozens of videos. I think there's close to 20 videos of this. I'm posting some here to bring awareness to this, to try to get people to go to TikTok and follow this man, to keep up with this. A lot of people reached out to him and asked for, biological samples so they could put it into the lab and see what the heck we're dealing with. The curiosity is very high on this. However, I feel that the danger is also very high if that's the case. He thought it was a plant to begin with. And here we are, as it continues to grow and he continues to post it, they're starting to call it venom. It looks like a black something, black goo of some form, but it's got definite life form. It moves and it was just staying on the meteor and flexing its little tentacles and things of that nature for many days. He started to take samples for scientists. He had the bravery to go in and start cutting these things and creating these samples in these jars, which seem to still have life form. They could be like clones. They may regrow or regenerate. The fact that it's not eating and provides such a life form is very interesting. When the meteor came out, before anything was growing off of it, he had a plant on his desk and it literally killed the leaf that it touched and or that it was close to. And so he did multiple other tests and showed us that this thing just literally will eat the biological material and burn it up. So as you can see, this thing continues to grow, and this is after he's taken samples off of it. Quite bizarre. I really am speechless. However, doing the work that I do, I know there's a lot of disclosure issues. You can see it with our congressional hearings. You can see it with the Nazca mummies finally making it to certain mainstream profiles like Jesse Michaels and Joe Rogan. People are starting to take the Nazca mummies more seriously. I don't know how to even take this. The fact he's touching this with his hand here, it creeps me out, to be honest. I mean, this needs to be in a very secure area. This could be an invasive species. Scientists have predicted that certain octopus and life forms on Earth, they just showed up here one day. They feel that they may have came by meteor or asteroid, which in this case, I mean, it's it is what it is. You can see the thing has separated itself from the meteor. It is now a functional life form. Still seems to be gripping onto it, but has detached itself also. So I don't know if the ambient radiation, gamma rays, electromagnetic frequencies, whatever this thing's producing that killed the plants, could be feeding the life form here. I'll be anxious to see what the scientists come up with that he's shipping it to. I pray for all of their safety. I pray for our safety on this, as it could be an invasive species that we are unaware of, and he may have just cloned it dozens of times and sent it all over the world, making it, potentially something that could cause us a threat. Seeing how fast it grows, the fact it got off of the tray in the safe, closed in there, moved the glass lid off of there, and moving the meteor around. It's obviously got some strength already, which is insane to me. So I highly recommend that you go follow this account, Kin Panama, and tell him thank you for at least giving us the opportunity to try to understand this. I feel it's a huge warning to us all, considering we've been seeing the things that we've been seeing with drones and UAPs, or whatever you want to call these flying orbs and different things over the White House, over assassination attempts, all over the place. China, Russia, Bolivia, Colombia. I see it everywhere. Mexico for sure. And obviously we see depictions of a lot of this stuff on the pieces from Mexico. Not this specifically, though. This one here definitely takes the cake, and I'll keep up on it as well, because there's not really any Instagram coverage of it, and we'll go from there. Say a prayer for this man and for us as a society, because this thing looks like the real deal. Until next time.
It's a journey. No one is ahead of you or behind you. You are not more advanced or less enlightened. You are exactly where you need to be. It's not a contest. It's life. We are all teachers and we are all students.
There are some people who could hear you speak 1,000 words and still not understand you. And there are others who will understand without you even speaking a word. You are not separate from the source. You are the source, extending itself into experience by the source.
God is consciousness, not a creator. God is the source of creation itself. It, not he or she, it is not independent of you. It is the totality of everything. So when I call myself God, I am not talking about my personal self. I am talking about the expression of the God self that rests inside of me, the verb, the energy, not the noun. Once you think God is a noun, person, place, or thing, you separate yourself from it and immediately become a limited being. That's what separates the believers, religious, from the knowers, spiritual. Forwarded from Terry Awakening.